Hello, and today's learning target is I can graph a linear equation from slope-intercept form. Today we are going to graph a linear equation. Let's review slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So let's take a look and graph the following equations. Okay, this first one says y equals 2x minus 3. So if you recall, m is our slope, and our slope is the number that's in front of x, the variable x. So here, m is, 2. And our y-intercept, or b, is -3. Now, if you recall, with slope, that's rise over run. So that slope of 2 would really be, 2 over 1, with a rise of 2 and then going to the right 1. Or if we reversed it, it would be -2 over -1. So we could go down 2 units and then to the left 1 unit, and that's the exact same thing. All right, so let's take a look here. I am going to first graph my y-intercept of -3. So I'm going to go down 3 units and be right there. So again, y-intercept is where your graph crosses the y-axis at -3. So I'm going to put my ordered pair, my point, right at -3. Now I'm going to move according to my slope, which here would be 2. So rise of 2 and a run of 1. So up 2 units over 1. Make that point. Up 2 units over 1. Up 2 units over 1. And again, I'll continue that pattern, make quite a bit of points here. And then I could also go the opposite way. So that was up 2 to the right 1. So a slope of +2, and you can see my line is going upward. Or if I start at that -3 point, 0, -3, the y-intercept, I could go down 2 units to the left 1. See how that's still in line with all of my points? So I know that that's correct. So down 2 to the left 1, down 2 to the left 1. Now that I've made quite a bit of points, I can connect and form my straight line. And again, all of these lines that we graph here for this video are linear equations, which are all straight lines. Let's take a look at the next example. Okay, this equation reads y equals 3/4 x plus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and plot my y-intercept of 2. So I'm going to go up 2 units, plot that point, and now my slope is 3 over 4, which means I have a rise of 3 and a run of 4. So I'm going to go up 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right about there. Okay, then I could do that same thing, up 3 units over 4. Now again, I could reverse it and go down 3 units from that y-intercept to the left 4. And you should still see the points fall into a straight line, and that's really important that they are in a straight line. And then we'll connect those and make our linear equation, or graph our linear equation. So again, look at your slope. Your slope is +3/4. Is your graph going, in an upward trend from left to right? And yes, it is. All right, let's continue with the next example. Okay, here we have y equals -1/2 x plus 8. So here, my slope is -1/2. So that means I'm going to rise 1, perhaps if I go down 1 unit, then I go to the right 2 units. Or if I flip-flop that, I go up 1 unit to the left 2. So I have to make sure I keep into account that I have that negative slope. So let's plot our y-intercept of 8, which would be right there. Now I'm going to go down 1 unit to the right 2, because that would be -1/2. Or if I went up 1 unit, I would go to the left 2. See how those points still fall into a straight line? So again, it doesn't necessarily matter if I go down 1 unit to the right 2 or up 1 unit to the left 2. It really means the same thing. It's -1/2 of a slope. And then I'll maybe make a few more points here. So down 1 to the right 2 And once I have a couple points, I can get my straight line. And I always like to plot at least 3 points, but 5 would even be ideal to make a straight line here for practice. And that would be the y equals 1/2 x plus 8 equation graphed on the coordinate plane. So let's continue now with this next example. Okay, y equals negative 2x minus 5. So I'm going to go ahead and plot my y-intercept of negative 5. And now I see the slope is negative 2 over 1. Or I could reverse that and go up 2 units to the left 1. Those mean the exact same thing, negative 2. So I'm going to go down 2 units to the right 1, make a couple points there. And then I'll also go up 2 units to the left 1 and plot a few points there, and again should have a straight line. Put those together. Whoops, didn't be easier if I had a straight edge. And then there's my graph. Y equals negative 2x minus 5. Okay, let's continue here. I see y equals negative 2. Well, I don't see an x here, right? So if I fill that in, there's really no x, so that's actually a 0x minus 2. So this means we have a slope of 0. Do you recall from our previous lessons what the graph of a slope of 0 with a slope of 0 looks like? You got it. It's a flat horizontal line. So I'm going to plot my y-intercept of negative 2. Plot negative 2 right there. Now, it doesn't really matter what I plug in for y. I'm just going to get negative 2 the entire time. Or even, what I plug in for x, pardon me. Y will always equal negative 2. So I can just make a straight line at negative 2, and that's my line. Y equals negative 2. Again, it has a slope of 0, so it's just a flat line. There's really no x variable you could even plug in, so it really doesn't matter what you have for x. Your y, or your output, will always be negative 2. Okay, and the last example, slightly different than what we just went through before, x equals 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot my point at 3. And here, when I just see a single variable, x equals 3, it's a straight up and down line at x equals 3. So it doesn't matter, if I try to plug in certain values, x equals 3 means that no matter what, x will always be at 3. So therefore, my line will just be a straight up and down vertical line at 3 on the x-axis. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.